a little bit about it. So just a couple of objectives that I typically have for this session and really all the sessions is this is about undergoing a conversation. So yes, I'll be talking, but we'll all be talking. I'll be asking a lot of questions and you'll be doing a lot of talking as well. And we're just really going to be uncovering and digging up a lot of definition to your brand that we can then, articulate in the marketplace. So we're going to undergo a conversation on the elements of your brand. We're going to form your brand guide that articulates your purpose, your positioning, your message, and visual identity. Today, we're going to be focusing more on your foundations, which would be that purpose area. And as mentioned before, again, that's going to be dealing with your brand purpose, your brand mission, your brand vision, your brand mission, and brand values. And then we'll get into the other ones in the other sessions. And then my third objective is just to have fun. So branding is an awesome, awesome time for you to have fun, really putting together all the meats to your business. And so I would say have fun with me. I'm probably gonna have fun. if you can, entertain some of my jokes. Even if we go afterwards, it's like, that wasn't that funny. Just entertain it on the video.
I got you.
Got it. But yeah, have fun building together something that will impact your audience. That would be an objective. And then next, just some expectations. My expectation would be, start fresh with our perspectives. You've already built up to the place that you are now. You already built something amazing. People love your products. You already have put things in place. Everyone is going to go through seasons of rebranding. I don't believe this will be your last brand strategy session. Probably in another 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years, you're going to be at another level and you need to go to the next level. So you got to come back to the table and see how do we brush up on our brand to take it to the next level. But up to this point, I would just say start fresh with our perspectives. Be open to potential revisions. And I say that because sometimes with branding, I try to keep a very unbiased perspective so that you're getting an outside opinion, a professional outside opinion that may require some changes in some areas. So just be a little open to that. Again, third expectation, have fun. And then I want to, give it to you all. What are some expectations you are having that you have with a brand strategy session? What would you say some expectations are?
One of the things I want is for her to be able to express.
Oh, I don't know if you're frozen.
Okay. Can you hear us now?
Oh, no. I think we may be frozen here.
You're frozen.
Yeah, Harvey, can you hear us now?
Hey, Mr. Adrian, I apologize. I think we're frozen.
Turn on the phone.
I don't think so because.
Is it our thing?
I don't think so. Can you hear us, Harvey?
I'm here with you. Okay, so you are back. Uh-huh.
Good. You're back.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Get my plug.
Your plug?
Yeah, I think my charger's on the thing. Okay. Well, one of my things is I always want to produce excellent quality work. So when people see my product, they're not thinking, oh, they're just going to go to, nothing against like Walmart or, the other stores, but I want them to think this is a high quality product and they have, what right here? They have a product that's worthy of who's ever purchasing or whoever they want to gift it to. I would love this to go in a direction where we're doing more bulk orders, individual. Eventually, I'd like to not be doing markets, but maybe special events that cause us to do more mass productions than individual people buying for their own. Not that there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I want that as well, but I want more of a group. And I don't even know corporate is where I'm looking, but just more bulk.
When I'm thinking of it in my head, it's almost like we're raising the value of the brand so that people perceive it more than just a commodity. And so corporate offices, even parties, events, they all want to go to you as that versus just generic stuff that you can get at Walmart.
Right. I want us to have like a unique gift that we provide, not just regular old Twix as much as I love
Mhm.
clicks and a stick. I
Yeah.
want them to think, oh, I need something unique, and really, really good. And I want them
Mhm.
to ask when they think of that. I also want them to, not that I want to put my religion on anyone. However, I want them to know that we are faith-based and that God is very much a part of this business.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mhm. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. What other? I believe you had some, Adrian. Mr. Adrian.
I want, and I'll give you examples. When I think of branding excellence, I think of Coke. You see that
Mm.
red and white with that calligraphy, with that C associated. I think of
Mhm.
Cheetos, and I love the imagery of the. So when I think about Coke, people know immediately when they see the red and the white, the red background, the white font with that calligraphy, it's Coke. You just,
Mhm.
even if it's a knockoff, it's Coke. Tostitos, the clever font with the lazy siesta dude mestizo with
Mhm.
in the word. That's those are just a couple of what I think about of association. And
Yeah.
so I'm hoping that we can come up with something that when they see it over time, they will see whatever expression of font and imagery that we have, they know it's Manna Rain.
Right. Right.
Whatever that ends with, because I want that to express our striving for excellence. Even though I feel like she's got an excellent product now, we want to improve. And I want them
Exactly.
to know that we are striving continuously. We'll never reach perfection, but
Mhm.
we are always looking to improve our excellence. And I want
Right.
them to associate that imagery, that font, and that strive for excellence with our brand, with our logo, with our font, with our
Yeah.
icon. That's what I'm talking about. And that's a lot, brother. But I mean, whatever imagery, I want high quality, top shelf class, not
Yeah.
ostentatious. Not, I mean, I said that before, but I mean, I want singular, unique, mouth watering. When she talks to me and she
Right.
talks about her, she's come up, I'm just quoting, she made some champagne chocolates the other night.
Woo.
And I tasted one and I usually stop. I tasted another one and I started to go for a third, but I stopped because I have a rule for 2 for a day. And I almost still one in the middle of the night. I told her about it. But that's what I'm talking about. I mean, we had people come up and say, "Her, I'm almost done. Give me some of that legal crack," and she took offense. And but
my stuff crap.
yeah, she goes, "My stuff ain't crack." He said, "Legal, lady," and people were running. Give me some of that legal crack. So I want people's mouth to water when they see the imagery and the logo and the font and associate it with their memory of their mouth-watering experience with our chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I
Absolutely.
know that's a lot, but that's what I'm
No.
looking at.
And that's perfect. And so I appreciate what you're saying because you have the framework. You're right in the vein of what branding is all about. It's to try to create that system of messaging to images to visuals that really builds in the minds that type of perception about it. And to your point, to what you said is so interesting that you use those specific words. I was just talking to my sister-in-law, if you will, who does floral cupcakes, and I'm helping her with her marketing. And she's not ready just yet to scale to take on the amount of orders that's going to come along with another level of marketing that
Sugar Blooms?
She is Sugar Blooms.
Oh my gosh, her stuff is amazing. I haven't had it, but just the pictures that she posts is amazing.
Yes.
When I saw her and that she was connected to you, I was like, oh heck yeah, we need to call Harvey.
Yeah, so I helped her with all of her. It's the same thing that we're doing. I helped her. I did her website. I did all those little areas of her brand. And she's selling out she's getting ready to do Mother's Day, and she's already sold out everything for Mother's Day to her limit, which is amazing. But I told her, I said, well, now the next thing is to teach somebody to do it with you. So if you have another hand, you can do it. She said, but her response was she's not ready to put her recipes out. And I said, that's because you know that you put some crack in them in those brownies, and you don't want everybody to know that you're out here lacing them. That's how they coming back, because you done put something in them the brownies and the cupcakes. And I was like, so when you said that, I was like, I know what that feeling is. I ordered a box from her of 8 cupcakes. And I got to watch myself and ate them all that night. Yeah. It was, and so I get what you're saying. You eat one of them, it is just like, oh my goodness. And so, yeah.
I tried to order, but she doesn't do gluten-free yet. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. Cool. So we have some expectations here, which is good. Let's look at our next slide here, and then we're going to get into a lot of questions to really dive into this whole branding thing and really get into it. So what is a brand? When we're sitting at a brand strategy session, what is it that we're getting ready to build? So just to kind of put it out there, what a brand is not, or a couple of myths, if you will. Branding is not a logo. Branding is not, or a brand is not a logo. It's not a business card. It's not a website. It's not necessarily a color scheme. It's not a photography. It's not a package. It's not none of those elements. All those are part of building a brand, but your brand is really it's really the sum total of what someone feels about your company, or it's the perception. So we are proactively giving them what we want to think about our company. You know, if we approach if we don't do any branding, whether you do branding or not, someone is formulating a perception. The moment you put something out, they formulated a perception. So if you have a low quality graphic, then you are automatically, okay, they're probably inexpensive, I'll go with them. And then you'll be treated as a commodity, which we want to avoid that, because one of your goals you had mentioned was to, not just to be something that you can get at Walmart. It's something that's more of a classy feel, luxury feel, an awesome experience of treats or desserts. So we have to make sure that when we put stuff out, it's building those perceptions. And so when we say we're building a brand, we're really we're proactively building what we want everyone to think about the company from every single design point, messaging point. And if we were to summarize it, it's a sum total of what your audience feels, thinks, and says about you. That's what we're building. A strong brand is powerful enough to outlive the moment. That moment you bit into them chocolates, the moment I bit into those cupcakes, I can't stop thinking about that experience. It's like, oh my goodness. The other day I got a genuine taco from the South Side. And I was like, look, listen, this is totally different than Las Palapas and Taco Cabana. You get some real authentic Mexican food. It's like, I literally sat in my car. I called my fiance, was like, her name is Ashley. I said, Ashley, I just ate the best taco I have ever experienced in my life. And I just remember it. And so a strong brand is powerful enough to outlive the moment. That's what we want to do. We want to figure out how to outlive just that moment so they constantly come back. Okay. And so what is branding? What is branding? Again, a myth would be it's a random piecing together of all the design and messaging elements of your idea. So what do I mean by that? A lot of times companies, they start off in what I call a passion building. They have a wonderful idea. They have a wonderful skill set. There's people like their services, and they just start piecing. They put together a flyer. They put together a package. They design a logo, whatever they can, because it's moving so fast, and they're just running with it, right? So they kind of just go get a picture done, get photography done, all those pieces, and just put it together and kind of look at that as the branding process. But those are more so random piecing togethers of a brand without really having a full plan on why we're doing those. Why are we choosing these colors? Why are we saying this message? Why are we presenting this image? Why did we choose the logo to be like this? Did we really look at why we selected it? Why this name? So branding is more, versus it being a random piecing together of those items, it's the intentional process of creating every element of what will formulate perceptions. So we want to intentionally design a name. We want to intentionally design our messaging. We want to intentionally look at our audience. Who are they? What is our ideal audience, and what do they think? So that we can gear our product to appeal to that audience, that type of demographics. So it's more intentional. Branding has to be intentional. Everything that we put out that's associated with your company should have a reason to why you did it. To the fine details should have a reason. And so branding can ignite passion, and passion builds loyalty. When you put out high quality stuff, you have high quality testimonials, you have high quality everything, and everything is well fine-tuned, passion is generated. Passion, excitement is generated around what you do. And when there's passion about your company, you have loyalty. You have loyalty. And this is why companies like Apple, people are just like, they just have a following that's just, well, they will never leave Apple. Now, I'm not an Apple person. I am a gun-ho Android user. But you know what? I love what Apple does. I'm a techie, so I just have a different perspective. But they still have built something that people just are in love with, which is amazing. So this is what we're building. So this is what when we say we're building our brand, this is what we're building. And then when we say we're deploying the brand process, this is what we're actually getting into building. We're doing an intentional build out of all those elements. Okay. So any questions on that? Any questions on kind of what a brand is that better help? Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
Cool. So ideas are the most powerful weapons on the planet. The ones who can formulate, articulate, and present their message the best changes the world. This is both a good thing and a bad thing. Adolf Hitler, he was able to articulate his message very well and change the world for the worse, for bad. And so a lot of times we have great ideas, but the problem is it can't really reach the way we want it to because it's not, the messaging may not be put together properly. The packaging may not be put together properly. And again, the ideas that are formulated the best, presented the best, and communicated the best are the ones that people buy into, and it changes the world. And that's what we have to make sure that we're formulating all that. So again, the ones who can formulate and articulate their ideas the best often are the ones who change the world. So I'm sorry, say again?
No, I'm sorry. No, I was just writing on his paper.
Oh, okay. And so ideas also are fueled by intent. So the thing is about the brands start off with what I call the big why. And so let's keep going here. So everything starts off with why. This idea one day, I don't know where he was at. Maybe he was at home. Maybe he was out and about the grocery store. Something happened that sparked you and says, I'm going to start Manna Range chocolate and we're going to build this company. So what sparked this idea? And so we're going to go into 3 areas of discovering and really building out your purpose, your leaders, your internal, and then a higher purpose, which we'll go into all 3 of them. And before you answer that question, typically your why is birthed out of a few things. Oftentimes whys are birthed out of frustration. Something's missing. I wish they had, my size shoe. They never have it. Like me, I love unique shirts, but I can never go to the store and find exactly what I'm looking for. So it's like, you know what, maybe I should start a store that has specifically what I want because it doesn't have it out there when I go. So it's often a why. Your purpose is often birthed out of frustration or a burden. It can be a pain point or a missing experience. It can be something like a better experience. Maybe there was you encountered something, you say, you know what, we want to do it better or different because this part, they're good, but they're missing this. They're missing this. And so purposes start from there. So if we would have asked you, Tina, what started you off on your company? What is your why? What is your why behind Manna Range chocolates? How did it come about? What's the backstory?
Okay. Briefly, I discovered I was gluten intolerant.
Okay.
And before that, I had always been asking God for what my purpose was. I went and did everything, coaching, nursing. I've done everything, right? And so 2015, I went on a retreat, asked God what I was supposed to do. He said, stop eating gluten. Of course, I didn't. 4 years later, I was in my prayer closet asking God again, what am I supposed to do with my life? Out of the blue, he said, create a gluten-free sweet treat. Now, in the meantime, I discovered that I was gluten intolerant and had went to the grocery store, couldn't find anything, gluten, no desserts. It was actually for a Super Bowl party.
Okay,
and I was getting my husband's son some sweets. And so I was looking for sweets for me and couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
I especially love brownies. And of course, I couldn't find anything that I could eat. And I was really frustrated. In my prayer closet, I said, God, what can I do that I'll enjoy doing, can make an impact on other people's lives, and of course, make a little bit of money.
Mhm.
And that was after a little while, he said, make a gluten-free sweet treat.
Wow.
So I
Wow.
guess it was the frustration of not being able to have, desserts with my family that I could eat that were not going to harm my body.
Yeah. Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, and that's good. So I mean, we kind of dead on. There was something was missing. You couldn't find something that that was good for you, that you needed, and frustration. And out of frustration is birthed, an idea that you can now solve. And so your purpose is really and that's part of your brand. Your brand should tell that story. It says, "Hey, I was that person who needed, gluten-free or if I'm saying this all wrong, I'm trying to remember everything as you're saying it. I was a person that needed this specific product and couldn't find it. And so if you're like me, so when you start writing your purpose, I'm here to serve those who are just like me. You're wanting a healthier, classier, fancier treat that can not just serve just anyone, but those particularly that need this specific type of product. So now you're already defining a purpose that can be inspiring, because anything about a why, I'm not sure if you all do any reading. I do a lot of self-development as well, but there's a guy, I call him the champion of why. His name is Simon Sinek. And he wrote a book called Start With Why, which is brilliant, because everything starts off with an intent. And he noted that most people are attached to stories and the why behind the company's existence more than the product themselves. So when they can find themselves identified in that purpose, they're most likely going to stay with you longer, connect with you more, and you can start building something that is iconic, like that Apple, or I'm thinking about Tiff Treats. It's just known as those big companies that everyone knows. If you want some premier stuff, this is the company to go to. And so when you're articulating your purpose, you want to write those things out. So I would even challenge you to start formulating that as you're writing notes. This is my why statement. This is how I got started. This was my situation. When I looked out into the market, it was missing for me. And now we're here. We exist to solve this problem for this particular audience. And we'll go and formulate that here more in a second. Mr. Adrian, so I'm assuming you was brought on board at some point. How did she pull you into this idea? And what was your thoughts? And how did you get back on board? How did you get on board?
Okay. I was brought on board. I'll call her back. Let it ring. I'll call her back. Sorry, my daughter's birthday, and she and I have been playing tag all day long.
Uh-huh.
So I was brought on board because I made fun of her. I did.
Okay.
She's always been about self-improvement since I first met her.
Okay.
She's always been like a healthy eater. And a quick story, when I was 49, she decided to tell me she was going to cut out all my beer, all my red steak, all my sweet, because we had a child and she wanted me to be alive when he got older.
Okay.
And so that's how she is.
Yeah.
So she comes to me one day and she says, "Hey, sweetheart, I got this gluten-free sweet chocolate. I want you to taste it." I said, "Woman, this is about my brother. You and your healthy stuff ain't gonna kill me. Sure, I'll taste it," because she knows I never BS her. I never BS her.
Yeah.
I'll taste it. Don't get your feelings hurt because you asked me. And I bit it. And I took another bite. And I took another bite. And I said, "Well, damn, I literally am happy to eat my words." and that's how I got brought on board. And I was immediately, I didn't want to get caught up in it because she gets on a mission, but I couldn't resist. I was pulled into it by my skepticism, but how delicious it was. And the fact that it was really gluten-free. I mean, and since I never BS her, I couldn't BS myself. They were really delicious.
Wow.
And I quizzed her. Is this gluten-free? Is that gluten-free? What? And she answered all my questions with emphatics. Yes, this is gluten-free. This is what God gave me. And I was immediately all in because I told you I was skeptical. Mm-hmm. And I voiced my skepticism, but I was immediately won over. Yeah. And from that point, it's grown. And I'm
Yeah.
so proud of what has come so far. And I have no, and you can tell I used to be a recruiter.
Yeah.
And I have no problem articulating how I feel. And so I asked her about product knowledge, all those, the technical part of it, but I never have lost my zeal for the taste of it.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I challenge people. Hey, what? You don't like dark chocolate? You didn't like my wife's. Come over here, big mouth. Come get over here. And because I'm totally convinced that everybody's not going to like it, but
Right.
most people should taste it, and that's what we're about. Oh, taste and see. And I don't say it to them all the time. I don't bring up Psalm. I don't bring up the Bible. But if you taste it and you like it, there's more where that came from. If you taste it and you don't like it, at least now you know.
Right.
And
Right.
take it or leave it. But that's how I got pulled into it, because I'm very emphatic. I'm very straightforward. I'm very passionate and expressive. And there's no one, she's not as proud as I am about what I see happening.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. And so both of those are two whys there. You know, it started with you, Miss Tina, the why behind how this came about. There was a frustration point, there was a pain point, there was a need point, and you sought a solution. And that solution is tied to a demographic. You have an audience of people that need that same solution that you have. And the same thing, with you, Mr. Adrian, you brought in a different piece to that why, because you discovered, hey, hold on, there's a taste here that is beyond anything that you have. And you're passionate about getting that taste out. And in my head, I like how you said, oh, taste and see. And in my mind, I'm just thinking of phrases, a taste that taste that never goes away. You leave the room and it's just like, this taste is not leaving my mouth. I have a taste for it. And so, you're passionate about bringing that and getting that taste out there because it's uniquely something that you have. And so let's dig a little bit deeper into the why. We're going to help formulate this even more specific here. So what was the frustration point or burden behind why this idea, why this chocolate? And we know that if we were to write out a couple of points, it was lack of gluten-free products. Am I understanding that correct?
Yeah.
Lack of gluten-free products, not having, the items that you saw that you were looking for, being able to be at an event and not have something there, that's part of messaging. What's a Super Bowl party without gluten-free products? You can almost see that later, that person there sitting on the couch, like, look at all this food. And then I'm knocking on the door, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm knocking on the door and someone presents, it's like heaven. It's like, yes, you're the answer to what I've been doing so that you can enjoy these events. And so, and the same thing with yours is, hey, there's a need now to get this taste out. So I think we kind of answered that here. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. Let me go back to share this. Okay. And this is all in that email, but the first part was, what was the frustration point or burden behind your idea? And this is for you, because there's 3 areas of why, that the intent of building a brand why or a brand purpose is to help inspire. We want to inspire. Your story it needs to inspire so that when they hear it, when you present it in your messaging and interviews and commercials and promotions, all of that is felt, and people it resonates with people and connects with them. So who do you help? Be specific and be as specific as possible. So you've identified a couple of them. Obviously, those who are, how would you articulate those specific people of who you help?
Gluten-free people who have who cannot eat certain foods.
Okay.
I don't want to say celiac because I'm certainly not certified in gluten-free, but certainly people who have an intolerance to gluten.
Okay.
People is the only thing I can think of, and that's the only thing that I have. I feel like that's different from anyone else. However, I don't feel like there's a whole, I mean, I'm sure there are, and maybe I just haven't researched it enough, but I don't feel like there's enough gluten-free people looking for gluten-free chocolates or desserts.
Okay.
I'm sure there are, but not for me to build this big empire on gluten-free desserts. I don't know.
Now, are all of your products are gluten-free?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is fine. So even though it may be gluten-free, it still has a taste. Like I would, if you would have given it to me, having never told me, I wouldn't have known that it was gluten-free. So there's a taste component, and that taste could be, it could be something within your ingredients that makes it unique. By unique, it may not be generic ingredients. It may be a unique taste in how you do your services. So that could be those who appreciate, genuine, unique flavors. And I know you had talked about the Belgian chocolate. Those who want a high quality dessert versus something, I can go buy M&Ms off the shelf, or some kind of chocolates like that. So are there some special touches you also utilize with how you make them outside of gluten as well?
Most of my chocolates are made with a ganache.
Okay.
Most chocolates that people get it's a compound chocolate, which means it's just a melted chocolate, like a Hershey's bar or a Snickers bar.
Okay.
My chocolates are soft when you bite into them. It melts in your mouth. I've heard that people say they melt in your mouth. That's what we get a lot of comments about.
Yeah.
It's a mouth feel. So when people taste it, they get a certain kind of feel when they put it on their tongues.
Yeah. So and that's part of your identity. That authentic taste of experiencing chocolate. Now, of course, all chocolate companies will highlight that, but we want to also highlight it because we're talking about unique, classic flavors, genuine flavors of chocolate. It's not just generic, genuine flavors, unique flavors that it's not always, not all type of chocolates are out there. And so we want to, part of it is, yes, you're servicing gluten-free, but you want the taste of genuine, authentic chocolate to be in the mouths of all of your clients. So if you're wanting something high quality, something that is an experience, something that you would buy for special occasions, these are the type of people that you're having versus, yes, you'll always service everyone, but more specifically, those who are looking for genuine, authentic, classic chocolate. And again, I'm throwing these words out, but you can put those specific words on there. Does that sound like we're kind of in the vein?
Yes, absolutely.
So I wrote down some stuff, and this is real quick. Excellence, class, top shelf, high quality, unique, singular, value add, exceed expectations, luxury treat.
Yeah.
Luxury.
And I always think about, I have high taste, but my tastes are not Bugatti.
Luxury chocolates.
My tastes are not, even though I like a Ford Taurus SHO, my tastes are more Volvo. And so I try to scale that to where we kind of want our chocolates to be. We're not the Rothschild, but we're definitely not Hershey. You know what I mean? So I want people to know that this is going to be a luxury treat. You're not getting a Yugo, and you're not getting a Bugatti. So you're somewhere in that Volvo, Beamer, Mercedes range. And I want people to know that. And so when she talks about the gluten-free, I'm the other side of the coin. I want people to taste that creamy ganache, and they're expecting a 24% cacao Hershey bar, and they get a 55% cacao Belgian.
Exactly.
I keep bringing these up because people will sit there and they'll roll their eyes.
Yeah.
One lady, I got embarrassed. She goes, "You have a cigarette I can borrow?" Right. She said, "Can I borrow a cigarette?"
Right after she ate it.
Right after she ate the chocolates. And I'm like, "Hey, you're going too far." And so I used to call them the romantic chocolate. I used to say, I said these are chocolates for when the kids go to bed, and you want to
right. Hey, I like that.
She's such a prude. She would hit me. This is a kids show. I'm like, baby, this is sexual chocolate. You know what I'm saying? I mean, your mouth has like you said, it is an experience.
Yeah.
It's a singular moment that inspires you to remember this experience.
In my head, I'm thinking, so I mentioned to you, I got engaged back in September. I'm thinking of a scene in my head, a commercial. Imagine a couple sitting on the couch, the kids just went to sleep, maybe they're married, whatever, and they're just trying to have a romantic moment. You got all the nice, the lights and everything going on. And then the guy says, hey babe, I have something for you. I got something for you. And he pulls out this nice box. She doesn't know what it is. And he opens the box and it's those chocolates. It's like and it blows us like, oh, exactly what I wanted. Almost like if you were to get like a ring, it's almost like, oh my gosh, you got those chocolates.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's an experience. So yes, you're going to service everybody, right? Everyone, but they may not all people may not be able to see the value in. For example, I've seen some people are like $30 for cupcakes. Well, they don't realize the value of it until they actually experience it. And our job is to try to communicate so that one, they can experience it, and then they can realize, oh yeah, this is high quality. Because people will pay for high quality stuff. Believe it or not, people will pay when they know that it's high quality. Those little, I forget what they're called, those little chocolate balls and the gold wrappers. What are they called? I forget what they're called. Yeah. So those are a little bit more. You can't get those for like, $1, $2. You're probably gonna spend about $5, $10, $20 for a pack of those. But people already know that when we get those, we're getting something better than just, generic stuff or a commodity chocolate. Yeah. And that perception is what we have to build. So I would even say, who do we help? We help that person who wants a high quality experience, tasty treat, classy treat for a special occasion, for a fancy occasion, for a special gift item. It's something that you get for a gift. Like if you want to say, I love you, you get them. You don't get them a Snickers, you get them this. Right. So that would say that's also the other side of who do you help? Who do you help?
Right.
So we want to articulate that. Okay. So what do they need help with? What keeps or should keep them up at night? Well, yours, Christina, you've answered that. Yours is really nailed down. They're lacking the ability to find. They want to enjoy treats. We want to enjoy treats, but they can't. And so their problem is they're frustrated. I can't find what I'm looking for. I want to have a special occasion and I can't find it. And so again, that's part of your purpose. And then on the other side of that is I want something classy. I want something fancy. I want something classy, and I need to find it. And you're going to be that you're going to be positioned in that space to be that person for it. So what do they need help with? They need help finding authentic product to help with gluten-free products. They need help finding and getting that taste of class and fancy and prestige that they can't just find anywhere going to the grocery store. They want something top level, next level. And this becomes the basis of your services. This becomes the basis of your packaging. This becomes the basis of how you describe even your services. Instead of saying, Belgian chocolate, let's just say looking for, if you're looking for a touch of romance for a special occasion, a special moment, we have product A here that includes Belgian chocolate, all the different authentic stuff, and it's gluten-free. That's just an example. Again, off top, we can formulate a little bit better, but that would be the basis of how you position services differently. And so it's no longer a chocolate bar. It's something a lot more.
These are some terms we wrote down. Frustration with not having the missing element, a need for a healthy, delicious, accessible luxury treat. And
I don't like the word treat.
I mean luxury treat. But you can come up with something else. But what I was saying was that's seven words: frustration, missing element, need, healthy, delicious, and accessible.
Accessible, yeah.
And her elevator, if you will, pitch that you're going to help us formulate will have express some of those ideas, because they didn't know what they were missing. Now they might have known that they were missing gluten-free. They might have known that it was delicious, but they didn't know it was accessible.
Yeah.
And covering that need is what we want to help them with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Accessibility.
Yes, accessibility. Yeah. And the other thing is I tell people all the time, I'll say, don't you know somebody special that deserves somebody special? No, I don't know anybody special. You don't have someone that you love? No. What about yourself?
Hey, and in my head, I'm thinking, a lot of times singles, we don't get as much attention as married couples do, but especially commercials. But imagine that scene, and you want to treat yourself to a fancy romantic night, and then finally you get that alone time to yourself. Fires going at the oh my goodness, the fire's going in the house, candles going, and then you pull out that little gift from the back, and it's like you take a bite, and it's like you hear the romance music fall.
Like Calgon. We told husbands, look, buy these for your in-laws, and buy the best there is. If they don't like them, you have to eat them. And then
Yeah.
here they go with that, because they know I'm only half kidding. Because if they didn't like them, you know, you're trying to, you know, in-laws, come on.
Mhm.
And I'm saying this, you know, it's like, I'm blessed. I have the best in-laws in the world.
Wow.
But
Mhm.
I've heard horror stories.
Mhm.
If you try to make up with the in-laws and they don't like that dark chocolate mint, oh well, I guess you have to eat it. You know? And so we try to discover a need out of helping someone else. But if they don't like it or they don't, that's not amenable to them, I guess you're stuck with it. You have to eat it.
Right.
So yeah,
Hey.
we want them to discover that they didn't know they needed it.
Exactly. Exactly. Right on. Right on. Absolutely. Perfect. Okay, so let's look at a couple of questions here. And again, we're just formulating that, and then we're going to finish this leader purpose, and we're going to go through a couple of other ones. So what specific solutions and impact would you bring? Now, again, we are mastering this gluten side because there's a really big need for that. What would be the solution? So we want to think about three tangible, well, you can talk about three tangible pillar services, but really what specific solutions and impact would you bring? What would happen if finally they found a company that helped them, they're accessible, they provide the products for me to be able to have for any occasion, more specifically a gluten-free product? What is the benefit for them? What is the impact made on them? What was the impact made on you? And what was the impact made on others who also got your finally found a gluten-free product?
Oh, okay, so I was telling her that I always think about the fact that it helped her for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But what about others?
Yeah.
You know, what if there's someone else that you know? We have people say, "Oh, you know what? I don't need that." But my uncle Mac, or my mother, or a cousin Mary,
or my sister.
I mean, yeah, it's good for you, but what about others? And I don't
Mm-hmm.
mean it's about, you know, sharing with others, but what about, again, others that don't know about it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and they'll say,
Exactly.
"I don't need that." But what's your website? What's your phone? You got a card? So something tangible. It's not just for yourself, but it can be shared. And we talk
Mm-hmm.
about social value of this is good for me, and I definitely want other people to share in my joy, my inspiration, and my alternative luxury treat.
Right, right, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So, so the feeling of finally of being, I would say, catered to. You know, a lot of times there's not gluten-free treats that's classy, that's fancy, that they can appreciate. So I would say finally catered to and seen. I would say that's an impact. And so they're not left out of the show. And the show can mean lots of different things, like the special events, the parties. And I think about, sometimes you go to these events and there's really nothing for you at all. And so you kind of just got to wait till the party's over to go to the corner store. They finally maybe find something, or go to the store to find something that you have to satisfy that. But now you're actually being seen and shown. And so an impact would be, obviously, there's a health impact. They're able to maintain a health, a state of health that they're needing. And then there's also the acknowledged. There's finally someone that sees my need, and they can appreciate that. And also being able to be a part of the show, be a part of the show. And then on the other side is, that side that you're speaking about, Adrian, is what specific solutions and impacts would you want to bring? It could be, a token of love. These should be like an items that says, hey, you didn't just give me a Snickers. You got me. You invested some money on something special. You went out of your way to get something special. When I said my fiance those Tiff treats, she knows. Oh, okay, yeah, that's nice. You got something good, or whatever they are. It's a feeling of true investment. And so we want to think about that. On the other side, they invested in a special moment. They feel special. They feel appreciated, or they they feel they have a feeling of again, fancy is a word, but there's a feeling that occurs having been impacted by the company.
And we get a lot of people too who want to give to their own clients. Like I have a realtor who loves to give to her clients after they closed on a house. I've had people who like have social events, people at their churches who want to have, you know, a big, yeah, I guess just an event. So
Yeah.
we get those inquiries too, where people want something different,
Mm-hmm.
whatever they get, you know, in bulk for people at their event. So
Yeah. So, and that could be another impact. They experience something new, which is impacting of itself. You know, we're used to we're used to certain things that we get all the time, but this was something new. This was a different touch, a different experience, and so that's part of the impact. So when you think about your purpose, you want to include the benefit or the impact that they're going to receive having encountered you in both of those areas. And we'll formulate that here in a second. And how do they feel having received this impact? They feel appreciated. They feel valued. They feel listened to, catered to. They feel loved, invested, all those words that cultivates the feeling. And so when we start talking about why do we exist, we want them to feel this. And so people are already seeing themselves inside of your why, and they're connecting with your brand. So let's see if we can maybe formulate a purpose statement here. And I have it written down here. So, and formulating this, we would say this: when we, meaning you, Adrian, the company, look out and see X. We look out and see people. It could be. We see a lack of products or lack of services that do not cater to gluten-free needs. We look out and we see something missing. So we can write this out. When we look out, we see this issue, this frustration, this missing point. Because of that, the next phrase would be, so we exist to help these type of clients, specifically the ones that the main two that we acknowledged, with X, meaning with a service that helps them with a gluten-free service or a fancy service that's going to help them. You help them with what that need is, if that makes sense. I'm trying not to formulate it with saying it, but when we look out, we see this frustration. So we exist to help this need by servicing this type of product, so that they can achieve an impact, and then you write out that impact. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And so that becomes the basis of a purpose statement. So one, it's good to have a long stated purpose. Everything that you just articulated, and I'm going to go back with this video as well and try to help write this out. But also on your end, write out that story. Write out those two things. So like even when you're doing videos, you want to tell this story. When you're getting interviewed or people are talking about it, you want to tell these stories because now they can see themselves in it as far as your why. Why do you really exist? And that passion, where passion is felt, there's loyalty that connects to it. But a simple purpose statement would be like, when we look out in the food industry or chocolate industry, we see a lack of this. So we exist to help solve that problem, whatever that problem is specifically. And we do that with providing A and B, so that clients can achieve whatever that impact would be. Okay. All right, perfect. So that's going to be the first part of your leader why. Try to find out, you as the owners, what your why is. And that just relates over, since I'm assuming it's just you two that operates the company, correct? Mm-hmm. So that typically your why always starts with those who are the founders of it. And again, then it gets associated with those who are internal. Most of the time companies, they're fueled by their whys all over the place in their companies, and strong, inspiring whys cultivates good relationships in the workplace. People want to work, people want to be a part of it, people want to come into work. And so when you do that, even as your company grows, your why is always going to fuel those actions. Seeing that it's just you all right now, we'll stay with that one. We don't necessarily have to go into the internal part, but again, that transfers right over into everyone that works with you, everyone that partners with you. Okay. And then lastly, we're going to look at this second one, which is going to be, this last one, which is going to be, oh, excuse me. Oh, well, I think I lost my place here. A higher purpose. What do I mean by that? Now, you had mentioned there's a spiritual higher purpose, right? Which we'll get into that as well. We'll get into that because I think that should be good. I try to approach everything business-wise, but there's still a higher purpose spiritually that's there. When I think of higher purpose, I want you to think of are you all heard of Toms, right? Toms the shoes? Okay. So Toms, they create great shoes, but people love them because they also chose to service a higher societal need. For every pair of Toms that you purchase, they give one away to someone who is needy, who doesn't have a pair of shoes. So automatically you become a likable company because you have serviced a societal need and a cause that people can associate with. They like Toms because of that. So you already build a positive partnerships, positive image. And so a higher purpose can be, is there a societal need that you all can champion with your company? And a lot of companies don't think of this and miss this higher purpose that their company could associate with. So you started smiling there. What are your thoughts?
Because I've always wanted to be able to do that. I've always had this thing about creating a foundation, but of course I don't know how I could do that. But
yeah, and so you can go back and kind of articulate that. We'll parking lot this, but let me go through some of the questions. And again, when you formulate a higher purpose, what is the higher purpose that you want to solve? And it really should be tangible, societal. What can you help come alongside? You know, maybe there's a partnership with gluten-free associations. I don't know if that's even a thing, but it could be something like that. Or for every 10 chocolates you give something away. I don't know what it would be. But to help formulate that, some questions you can think about is, what cause do you feel most equipped or interested to tackle that your brand can be associated with and be a part of? Maybe you sponsor certain events, for certain things. And that in time can end up building a good partnership, a good name, you're known. And so you can sponsor certain things. Or how does this cause directly affect the world? You want to think about that. How does this cause directly affect the world? How does the world feel about this world issue? So what are their thoughts about it? Maybe it's a health thing, or maybe it's a poverty thing. I don't know what it would be for you all, but you want to help think about what is a higher purpose that we can accomplish in society that we can associate with our company. And then what resources do you feel you can provide in helping the cause? And I think you had to have some language there, especially in that gluten area. There's some cause that can be accomplished there. And so when formulating your higher purpose is, on a global scale, we see this issue. It's the same thing as your regular purpose. We see this societal issue. This affects the world because by however it affects the world. This issue affects the world by causing unhealthy stuff. I don't know. Again, I'm throwing out language very loosely here. And then so we plan to offer a solution to this societal issue by offering these services, and doing so will stop and bring about this societal change. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you all can kind of go back and look at it. It's not required that a company has a higher purpose, but if you see iconic brands, they're always giving to some kind of cause that associates it with something positive. And people will start having a positive perception about it. Like for my company as well, is I help sponsor youth entrepreneurs. So if there's a young person that's wanting to get into business, I will help sponsor and build their brands. I do those periodically where I build out young people's entire brand. So you have an idea, we're going to build them out just to get them moving into entrepreneurship, because I believe the entrepreneurship is really the key to impacting business and changing the world. And so that kind of helps when I get parents that want to contact me, work with their children, mentor them, and there's a societal thing that's being built with the company. Okay, all right, let's keep going here. So let's pause for a second, and you know what, y'all, we are running out of time, but we'll stay on a little longer too, past 8, if that's okay with you all, since we kind of had some hiccups there. But I want to try to get through these here. But so questions about your why, was that helpful? Did that kind of help formulate and dig deep into really articulating your why?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Any questions or any thoughts so far on that?
two things that I didn't say, but of course, on the idea as far as expressing myself. The taste doesn't taste like gluten free. When you said it, I wrote it down because that's exactly what I want people to know. It doesn't taste gluten free.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't say it, they wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
But it is. The other thing is, I've always been aesthetics. When you present someone Tina's chocolates, it's not like a Hershey's bar.
Right.
With an H on it and some blocks. No, it is aesthetically pleasing to look at. People always go, yes, people always, is this art?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm saying that not only do they taste good, but they, and on some small scale, they add aesthetics. People can look and go, wow.
It's almost like they look so good. I don't want to eat them because I don't want to mess up how good they look.
We say that, and we tell them take a picture. But I want that deeper thing to know. Not everything is beautiful, and I want to tell you what I said when I first met her. Not everything that's beautiful is rotten inside. You know what I'm saying? They can be something that look beautiful, but they taste just as good on the inside as they look on the outside. And those two little things, just to wrap up that part about the gluten-free, but don't taste gluten-free, and they are aesthetically pleasing, and they're even more pleasing when you bite them.
Yeah, they taste better than they taste even better than they look. I don't know. I'm thinking of like phrases. They taste as good as they look. They look good and taste better.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, Miss Tina, any thoughts?
No.
Okay, cool. So that's kind of formulated the basis of our purpose, and we'll go back at the end of all this. I'm going to start formulating a brand guide that we're going to be able to have at all times to utilize here. But what is a vision? And this is stuff that we all know here. And what is a mission? And we're going to go into these two here. So a vision basically is larger than any one goal, but the measuring block for the future. It's really you traveling to the future right now and seeing what you see in the future from right now. It's standing in the future today. Vision helps unify the people involved, meaning for larger companies, and brings excitement around accomplishing goals leading to where you're going. And so really a powerful vision, or what they call a bold, audacious, how do they say it? A hairy, audacious vision or goal. I forget how it's said. I'm not saying it right, but it really,
something that scares you that you can't do alone either.
Yeah. So a vision really should help almost like put a pulse in the future, and then everything else from our mission and our goals and our values help track us towards that. Without a tangible vision, there's no accountability to arriving anywhere. And then it's hard to figure out what goals is actually being accomplished. So we're going to go into your brand vision and your brand mission. So if a vision is how you see yourself in the future, your mission is the day-to-day action plan to reach it. Or I would say not just the day-to-day, because that can be very small, broken down into small pieces, but you have to do periodically. I know that there's certain things as my company I have to deliver every single time in order to achieve this type of brand that I want to have in the future. And so it's the same thing with the mission. So this directly affects growth and brings a dream into tangible motion. So let's dig a little deeper into your vision. Imagine yourself 5 to 10 years from now. Oh, I have a misspelling here. What does members and potential members say about you? So in your case, clients, what are people saying 5 to 10 years from now? What are people saying about Manna Rain chocolates?
All right. So the vision I had is so Manna Rain. So chocolates to me is a gateway to something bigger than what I am doing right now. I have no idea what that really is, but chocolates is the invitation, I keep saying gateway to something bigger. So I see us in a building, a really large building that people come in for chocolates, but for some reason they leave feeling, and these are the 3 words I received from God, solace, restoration, and healing. I have no idea what that has to do with chocolates, but somehow he told me that this is what I'm doing. So
Okay.
it's a place where people come together, almost like a Starbucks. So they're at like a Starbucks and they just kind of hang out. They're chilling. They're able to do their business. They get to have their suites there. But they also, because I was a coach, they can get coaching.
Mm.
It's a facility that people come to get chocolates, but to also get the 3 words that I told you, and to gain knowledge and wisdom from coaching from, I don't know, it's this great big thing. I don't know how it's going to come together, and I don't know how it's supposed to work together.
How it ties together. Yeah. Well, I think out of a good reputations, people start, especially as business owners. So those may seem like two separate things, and they really are. But what I realize, even, and I've seen it even in myself. So I do branding, but I get so many people that have reached out to me about entrepreneurship. I've gone to places and spoke to young people, done speaking engagements. I do birth out consults, ministering even at churches and things like that. So they all are birthed out of having a good reputation from providing some kind of tangible service. And so it may not be directly, meaning they come in and get coaching right there in the shop and getting chocolates, but there's a relationship that's built out of the culture of Manna Rain that is so impactful that you're connecting with the owners and they're getting more services from you on. So it could build out into a lot more. I'm thinking about when they walk into Chick-fil-A, listen, people love Chick-fil-A because this is something about that atmosphere. God is in that atmosphere. It's the culture that's built. And I'm pretty sure out of that, there's conversations that can happen. So let you nail down a couple of things. And I'm big on very specific things. So let's just say this. Imagine 5 to 10 years from now, what does clients or what are existing clients and potential clients say about Manna Rain, the chocolates? What are they saying about you? What is the perception? Because again, branding is about perception formulating. We're formulating what we want them to say. So what do you see? Say it again.
They feel inspired.
Okay. Inspired. Okay. So they are inspired by this company. So they're inspired. What are they saying about the service and the chocolates that they're getting?
No matter what we do, we make a connection with people.
Yeah, that's good.
Right off the bat that yes, we're making money, but we have no problem getting people samples. We have no problem challenging people to taste, and we want a connection to form a relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you said, with a long-range purpose.
Yeah.
We want to say, "Oh, taste and see," without saying it.
Yeah.
We want to do, "Oh, taste and see." We want to do that. From every transaction, we don't want to say, "Oh, taste and see." We want to do, "Oh, taste and see."
Yeah. Yeah.
We want that relationship to be revealed when you taste the chocolate and she has signs up saying we're believers and we have faith, and we don't shove that down anybody's throat. But people that are believers in faith, people come by and say, "I love your sign." "Oh, I love your booth." It's just a pretty plateau. It's just a pretty picture.
Yeah.
We want that relationship to be built. We want to be genuine. We want you to taste the chocolate, but we want you to stay for more.
Yeah.
We have a good time in our tent. People come to our tent and have a good time.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about our energy, without being boastful. I think we're perceived as very friendly, warm, kind, fun.
We want to spark conversation.
Yeah.
We want to
We
spark
have conversation about God.
dialogue. We want to spark dialogue through our chocolates. Like she said, that's the invitation. It's almost like the gateway, bad, but it's the gateway drug to where we go.
Gateway to heaven.
Yes. But listen.
What I was actually saying.
We want you to make your own decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we want you to know that this is an invitation to what the decision is. Hopefully we get you on your own.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it? Yeah.
We have many conversations though.
But if you don't want to, God bless you. Have a nice day and a nice life. Did you like the chocolate? If you didn't, no problem. we want this to be, come on in.
Yeah.
With the ultimate goal in mind, like she said, that building with the plush cushions and the waterfall and the
Mhm.
dialogue and the hopefully thought-provoking dialogue that ends up with "Oh, taste and see
Yeah.
the chocolates."
Mhm.
But you know
Mhm.
where we're going with the Psalms.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
We want people to say that.
Yeah.
They let me arrive at that conclusion on my own.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they didn't say, here's a Hershey's and there's a Manna Rain. They said,
Yeah.
do you like what we offer?
Yeah.
If you don't like it, we're cool with you anyway.
Yeah.
If you do
Yeah.
like it, there's more where that came from because that's how God is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me a chance to show you how much I love you. I'm sorry I'm so deep, bro. But
No, you're good. This is good.
how much I'm here for you and what I will do for you if you give me a chance. Did you like that? There's more where that came from.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
More down the road, even more. And
Uh-huh.
people, when they taste the chocolate, they go, "Oh my God!" I said, "Wait 2 seconds."
Mhm.
And they go, "Oh my word!" Because
Yeah.
it's better when it's gone, because that film has to get back off in that. That's what we want people to say about us.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. I think it's good. I think it's good. So let's put this into a 5-year vision. In 5 years, Manna Rain Chocolate is an established company. And you had thrown this out here, Tina. You had said there was a location. You had thrown out a location. So let's just put that as a vision, 5 to 10 years, and we can put whatever date on it. We have a location where Manna Rain is housed, at least one.
Yeah.
Manna Rain is housed that people come to and are impacted by the relationships that they're built, the atmosphere that they coming to. They feel inspired by the interactions. It's a place where that they get all of that. So in 5 to 10 years, people are saying, "Hey, Manna Rain is the place to go. Go hang out over there. Go hang out, get the chocolates over there, get the experience that they have." And it's housed at a location. So let's put that as far as the vision that we see here in the future. There's a house, and then there's also a delivery. So 5 to 10 years, you can write that out. There's at least one location. You have one location that is housing your chocolates and providing an experience that clients come to, they're inspired by, they feel the genuine relationships from the owners and the employees, all of that. And it's a place of class and elegance when they come in. It's almost like date night at Manna Rain. So that's what we see in 5 to 10 years. This is what people are saying. And then I put here, because I do also work with churches, but I put what do other churches, partners, or clients say about you? That would be like your partners. So you partner with other companies to provide you some, like your distributors, or if there's places you go for your chocolate. What do they say about you in partnering with you?
Well, I don't really have a relationship with any of them, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, well, with Chocolates, it was becoming a relationship, but then they kind of folded. But right now, I'm actually in the middle of getting different manufacturers for our chocolates because.
Okay. Well, make that as a goal, because again, this is the vision. So we understand, we kind of have an idea of what the clients are saying, but now what about your partners? Oh yeah, you could just say, teaming with Manna Rain was an amazing experience. They are always joyful. They're always, whatever that experience is, you want to formulate that. In 5 to 10 years, they're like the premier partnership to work with. Like they absolutely love working with you. And so, because those are also going to be, related to relationships that is going to build your perception of your brand. And then lastly, what does the world say about you at large? I would even say this: 5 to 10 years, Manna Rain is a premier luxury chocolate company, however we want to say it, in the country. And I know that seems huge, and you can start off small. I'm always big about scary, because if you fall short, then being number one in the country, you'll probably land number one in the city or something like that. So you can, if you want to start, small, locally, statewide, you can just say 5 to 10 years. People are saying Manna Rain is a premier, high quality chocolate company for luxury events. Like absolutely, exclusively, they're the company to go with. And this is what they're saying.
I want to be on the Oprah favorites.
You want to be on the Oprah favorites? Hey, write that in your vision. Write that in the vision.
I have it in my journal.
It sounds funny, but I would put that there because this is going to fuel your passion. We are on, you could say, celebrity talk shows or popular, platforms that house luxury treats. They're being noticed by those things. So 5 to 10 years, you can say Oprah. You can put the Food Channel. I don't know what they are. You're being talked about on these platforms. And let me tell you how real this is. I work with a company. You probably heard of them. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But there's a company called Southern Roots Vegan. Have you heard of them?
Yes.
You've heard of them. Okay, so y'all know about this.
I went through the essay launch with Kara and Marcus. Yes, and
Oh.
they were the very first people that we helped them out at our very first market together. Yeah, I know them very well.
Say it again.
I know them very well. Yes.
Okay, cool. So you know their story.
Yes.
You know their story. They're being posted and featured on lots of different platforms. They just like blew up overnight. And it's so you realize how real it can be when you're positioned in all those places. It's the opportunity is just waiting to come, and we're going to make the partnerships. You're going to present the brand, and people are going to start loving it. And then it literally is just one opportunity that can put it overnight. Like just
really did that for them. Tabitha Brown really did that for them.
Yeah. And there was some other platforms that there was on as well. I forget which other vegan news channels that kind of put them out as well that really got them their acknowledgement. But I say that to say it's totally in reach. It's totally in reach.
Right.
It's not far off. You know, you can be on all these platforms. And I would even say 5 to 10 years, we have been featured on platform A, B, C, and D. I would write them out specifically. And you're featured on all those. So whatever they are in your industry, you want to write those out. What are you aiming to achieve tangibly? The most important impacts in the coming years. One of them is having that luxury location, building up to that luxury location that you're hosting your Manna Reign. That's a big one. It could be servicing a certain amount of clients. You know, over the next 5 to 10 years, I'm looking at servicing 1,000 brands and helping launch 1,000 new brands over the next 5 to 10 years. 10 years will be the long goal. That means 100 a year, which is a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but I believe it's possible. And so you want to say, you know, servicing, you know, this amount of clients. We see in 5 years where we service this amount of clients. And that can be your vision for the future, but something that's tangible. So we have a location. Maybe also the second one is we're featured on, you know, 3 platforms or 4 platforms in the next 5 to 10 years. I don't know what they would be. Could be the amount of servicing clients, whatever you see tangibly for the future. And it's important to be tangible with your vision and not vague, because if it's too vague, you don't have a way to measure your accountability or productivity. And productivity has to be measured through a tangible vision.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
then, right? Say it again.
You said the SMART goal.
Yeah, exactly. And then lastly, what is the hairy and scary thing you see built in the future? Be very specific. Be very specific. He's smiling. Your husband's smiling because he sees some things.
I believe that Tina is the classic person. I always thought Nelson Mandela. Okay. Birds don't worry about flying, getting off the ground. They think about maintaining that altitude.
Yeah.
And the man who was too afraid to fly, so he never did land.
Yeah.
Tina knows that she's got a good product.
Mm-hmm.
Tina is reluctant to embrace the impact that she can have and the success that she can have, because to maintain that, she's never said this to me, but I think that she's reluctant to hit that plateau and then be forced to maintain that plateau of excellence, delivery, products, inventory, clientele.
He knows me so well.
That's just in my heart. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about this, but I've told her it's coming.
Yeah.
So don't take the step until you're ready to step off the cliff and soar.
Right.
And if you're not ready, that's okay. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to get to the cliff one of these days.
Yeah.
And you're going to leave the nest one of these days. And so you're going to soar. And then you got to learn how to land and then take off again. And that's flying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's so I'm through talking, but that's
yeah, and you know, I get it. It's scary, like especially the whole entrepreneurship type thing. Next, going to another level, managing another level of clientele. It could be a scary. This could be scary to where it's almost like, okay, let's not go to. And I'm big. If you did with me, I'm a motivator. I'm like, listen. I caught again my sister. I'm like, hey, have you sold out on Mother's Day stuff yet? Because we need to get you sold out like tomorrow or like yesterday. And she's like, I can't take anymore. I don't want to do it. I was like, hey, if you're messing with me, we go push further. And it's not so much about amassing a lot of stuff. To me, it's more about the impact and the ability of being able to do something. My biggest goal and my biggest thrill, if you will, is knowing that it's possible. It's not even the gain that you get from all this. Like, man, I was able to accomplish that. and I can tell you, even just this past year, you know, I've been doing branding for several years and making an income that's been pretty good, but I've never stepped out and said, you know what, let me jump out there and do this full time. I'm at a place where I can do this full time. It's scary when you think about not having anything else to fall upon, but I stepped out and listen, it's been the best decision that I have ever made. Because I do this full time. I can't imagine doing anything else. And not only that, but had I not, I wouldn't have been able to go to the next level that I needed. But time availability, and what I was making before is nothing, compared to what I'm doing now. But I would have never done that had I just not said, you know what, it's time. If I fail, I'm okay with failing. If I fail, at least I can say I tried it. So yeah. Anyways, that's my whole pep talk.
I love it. Thank you.
Cool. So what is that hairy and scary thing you see built in the future? Write it out specifically, and that's your vision for Manna Reign. And I would say keep it focused on the chocolate side of the company. All those other components of what you want to do, the coaching, the inspiring, are going to be birthed out of you being an owner. You being an owner and you being a coach. You know, I can coach on a lot of different areas, but it started with this service, and then everything else you can help coach through all of it and get those other services of impact. Okay, so we have that there. So let's dig into your mission here, and we're gonna formulate this here. And we may not have time for this, but this may be a homework assignment for you. Your mission, again, if your vision is how you see yourself in the future, where you're standing in the future, your mission is the tangible action items that you need to do on a consistent basis or seasonal basis, meaning if you focus on these areas, then that vision will come to pass. Start off by writing 5 to 10 commitments that will help you reach this vision 5 to 12 years from now. And we're going to put it into a mission statement, but we're going to just write those out. 5 to 10 commitments that will help you reach this vision in 5 to 10 years. If a storefront, that may mean, say, okay, let's go price out a storefront. It may not mean you're going to get it tomorrow, but price it out. What is the sales that you would have to get? What is and I wouldn't even say sales you'd have to get. What is the impacts you're going to have to make? Because the sales are going to come by articulating your message. Those who can communicate their message the best change the world. And so it's about really the impacts that you're making through the service of your chocolates. How many does it take? Like for me as well, one of the things I wanted to do is also be an expert in branding. And so one of my goals as far as my missions is this year is doing 12 speaking events that help articulate entrepreneurship and understanding branding better for helping businesses grow. And that's a goal that I have to have, or a mission that I have to have this year. So anyways, I'm long-winded. Write 5 to 10 commitments that will help you reach this vision in 5 years. Secondly, 5 to 10 years. Which 3 are most important? And if you don't do, you'll never reach this goal. I mean, some of those may be good commitments. They'll help you reach it. But which three of those 5 to 10s are absolutely essential? I have to do these things in order, or else the vision will never come to pass. And those begin to be the focus area of your vision. Of your mission. So now that we have those 3 items, we have the 5 to 10 as at least goals for missions. Now we have your 3 high level, every day I am waking up to focus on these things that get me towards my vision. And this becomes your mission statement. So this is how we'll write it. we are committed daily to doing A, B, C.
Okay.
On a quarterly basis, we do A, B, C. On a yearly basis, we do A, B, C. And the reason why the missions should, for me, from what I see being more actionable versus general, a lot of times think about, our mission is to impact people and change lives. Well, yeah, but we got to figure out how to do that more tangibly, because those are too vague and it doesn't hold us accountable to a real mission of action. And so I would say we are committed daily to ABC, on a quarterly basis, ABC, and on a yearly basis, ABC, and just write a power mission statement that will fuel getting you toward that vision.
Perfect.
So. All right, perfect. So I think we are. Your last thing is now. So we've gone through a lot, right? We understand a little bit more about branding, the branding process. We've really delved deeply into your purpose. Everything is going to be birthed out of purpose. It's almost like a domino effect. We solidify that purpose. Your vision is now tangible. We see ourselves in the future. Now we have our day-to-day, season-to-season actions to get us there tangibly to that tangible vision. We want to now go back and write your purpose statement. So write it out. So rewrite your purpose statement as far as your company, your vision and your mission. And I'm actually going to go back as well to try to consolidate everything that we talked about. And then I'll send it to you and we'll go back and forth to see what is the final version of our purpose, our vision, and our mission for the next 5 to 10 years.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah. So we got to the end of the session here. So we'll stop there. Next one, we'll hit on values a little bit more. Again, values is simply about governing the culture of all of this, but we'll touch on those. But the next time we're going to start looking at positioning. We're going to be more of detectives and look at companies, look at audiences, look at competition, so we can know how we're positioning ourselves amongst those. So that when we talk about it, we can say, hey, companies are out there, they do this, but we do uniquely do service this.
Right.
So I hope I didn't keep you too long.
No, this was really good.
You're helping us quantify.
Yeah.
And that is important. Like you said, general's good, but when you clarify, you can quantify.
Mm-hmm.
Start to zoom in home. So this is what we wanted. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, Ms. Tina, was your expectations met on this first session?
Yes, I think above and beyond. I'm a little overwhelmed. You know what's funny is that I've done this type of stuff before, but I've never been able to just get specific and narrow it down. So this will help me to get even more specific in what I need to do. Yeah. And I think your help is certainly gonna help me to do that. So then I can feel like I have some kind of grasp.
Right.
What it is that I am doing in my purpose and my mission and my vision. So this is gonna force me to actually not only do the work, but to really understand who we are as a company.
Yeah.
What we're really all about. So I thank you so much.
Awesome. And this is just the first one. So we have a few more sessions and we're going to dig into some more stuff and really create all of this. Because again, I'm 100% positive. The ideas, everyone has ideas, but if we can communicate it, one, we got to know what it is. So now we're organizing it, we're formulating it, as Adrian was saying here, we're quantifying it. Now we can articulate it the best. And when whoever can articulate and pack and present it the best, changes and impacts people the most. So
I love that.
Awesome. Well, I enjoyed y'all. This was fun. I love y'all's spirit. I love y'all's personality. Y'all make this so easy. So thank you for having fun with me.
Yes, absolutely.
You are invested in you are a perfect branding example. You are enthusiastic. And it shows. Yeah. It's infectious for sure.
Oh man, that's so awesome. Thank you so much. So okay, cool. Well, we're gonna let you go for the night. I know you got some chocolates in the back. You get ready to put the light to the candles and bust up with them chocolates. But when would be, are you thinking Tuesday next week would be good for you all as well? Or when do you want to do, oh no, we talked about Thursday, but did you want to do it once a week?
Yeah.
Thursday?
Yep. Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Okay. At the same time Thursday?
Yep. 6:30.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Well, we'll be back here again on Thursday then. Y'all take care. If you have any questions, let me know. And I'll be sending you this video as well, so we both have it as we kind of write all this stuff out.
Wonderful.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Harvey.
All right, y'all. You have a good night.
Have a blessed evening.
You too.